Hey, this is Kamisha with Sister Afia back with another video about mental wellness. In this video, I will be sharing information about depression. So, depression is probably one of the most researched mental disorders concerning Black women. There are many statistics out there about how depression is a widespread issue for Black women, and so I wanted to take some time to really talk about depression, what the symptoms look like, and just what are some other things that are unique to Black women. So Black women experience a higher rate of depression than the general population. And there have been many articles, there have been many writers, many scholars, many mental health practitioners who have really talked about the factors that lead to high rates of depression. And some of those factors include access to quality health care, which is across the board for, I would say, any mental disorder. Then you also have the superwoman syndrome, so just really on taking on a lot and then feeling like you have to live up to so many expectations. You have to be this outstanding and amazing person, and when you fall less than that, and you want to be outstanding and amazing, but you don't want to be to the extent that you're pleasing other people and serving other people's needs except your own. So when you start to not focus on your own needs, then you can also fall into depression under that, like what they would call the superwoman syndrome. And then also finances and shame. So really struggling with things on the inside but not showing it on the outside out of shame. And then just sometimes just not having the money to really go to therapy, go to seek a healer, go to a support group, different things like that. That cost money, and that's another barrier for women, Black women who have depression in seeking help. And so the earlier that you're really able to recognize your symptoms and know what the warning signs are, the faster it may take for you to get treatment. Sometimes people are struggling with depression and might not know it's depression or are denied that it's depression by others. So, someone has symptoms of depression such as like significant weight loss, have no energy, have trouble concentrating, have thoughts of like suicide or death. And somebody's like, girl, you just going through the blues, you'll be okay. So that happens a lot. There's a lot of denial about about someone actually experiencing depression, and that can be really hard for people who have depression because this is a real thing that they're experiencing and people are telling them that it's not that big of a deal. And so I'm going to go over some of the warning signs so people know what the symptoms of depression are, and also what are some possible avenues as far as treatment. So the first thing is a loss of interest or pleasure in activities most of the day. So if there are things that you used to love to do or things that you used to like and you have no interest in doing them anymore, and you are kind of like becoming a turtle in a turtle shell and not really going out doing the things that you used to do and doing that almost every day, is a sign that you might be depressed. Also feeling down, having a down mood or about you almost every day. So not really having much energy, not really having, a upbeat spirit or a normal mood, and feeling just really sad and just, I don't know how else to explain sadness, but being sad. And I think usually people know what that is. Also, really gaining weight or really losing weight pretty quickly. So sometimes when people are depressed, they don't eat. But on the opposite end, sometimes when folks are depressed, they eat a lot. They eat a lot. So it can be either or. And as I mentioned before, a loss of energy. So feeling fatigued, feeling like you don't have the energy to get up, to do very simple tasks, to go to work, to go hang out with your friends, that you just kind of want to just sit around and not really do much, and you just don't feel the energy to do so. Also, concentrating, having difficulty concentrating and thinking because of the depression. So not being able to get normal tasks done because you are, because of the depression, not really being able to think and concentrate in the ways that you usually can. Well, another one is thoughts of suicide or death. Sometimes when people are experiencing depression and feel very down or also are feeling overwhelmed, They can think of wanting to harm themselves or to take their lives. And that if you are starting to have those feelings, that is definitely an indicator that you may be depressed. And lastly, feeling like you're worthless, feeling hopeless, and also feeling helpless. So those are three really loaded words, but feeling like you're not worthy of certain things, or your self-worth isn't, what it used to be, or feeling hopeless, like things will never get better, life is just going to be this way, that there's no future outlook, you don't have like a positive future outlook. And lastly, helplessness, feeling like there's nothing that can be done to help you, that this is just it. So those are the symptoms and warning signs that you may be depressed. Another thing is treatment. So what can be done about it? So there is therapy. They're also engaging in pleasurable activities. So whether that's exercise has really, really, really been linked, and nutrition has really been linked to depression. And so having, a healthy diet, or even just like eating certain foods and also just exercising, can really uplift your mood and have you feeling maybe less depressed. Medication is also an option. I can't really recall offhand what the popular depression medications are, but I'm sure if you're on any major network, they will have a commercial about some depression medication. But that's also an option as well if you've tried other avenues of healing and you would like to try medication, then that's an option. And then also self-help and care. So there's support groups, meditation, mood tracking is also really helpful. And mood tracking is like might have a journal entry, or they also have apps for this, and I'll talk about this in my app video. There are a lot of apps out there that can really help with tracking your symptoms or just journaling. How are you feeling today? Did you feel, sad? Did you do anything that you enjoyed? Have you gained weight? Are you feeling energetic? Really documenting those things daily can help to be able to track how your depressed mood, whether it's improving or it's becoming worse. So I hope that this video was helpful to you. And if you have depression, if you're a black woman with depression, know that there's many black women out there who have depression. And it's one of the mental disorders that I think are more recognized and can sometimes receive more support as well. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day,